What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Near and Far podcast. Football season's back among us, so here we are. It is game week. We are playing Penn State and Morgantown, noon game. Pat McAfee's coming to Morgantown on Friday, the day before. Biggest home opener in program history, according to some people. I don't know. But we're back. And, I guess to sum it up, we're pretty much like every other West Virginia fan. We care about football and basketball when they're good, and any other sport if they're like in the championship. That's about it. That's the type of podcast we are.
Yeah, we like to wait months in between our podcasts.
Super consistent.
Yeah. Hey guess what? We won the Duke Mayo Bowl.
We did. Reigning Duke Mayo Bowl champions.
Yeah.
We have a basketball coach. That's happened since we last talked. So we got that going for us.
I'm like
a lot of reason for
this dude too.
Yeah,
this guy seems like he's like no nonsense, like no excuses. I don't feel like he's going to be fucking around very much.
Hopefully he doesn't drive drunk, or knows how to call a driver for when he wants to go to Pittsburgh on a whim and drink case.
Time for that.
So
good.
We got a son in the deal, so I was like it does a two for.
Yeah. He's like an NBA prospect, so we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
How you guys feeling about this game? Huh? How you guys feeling about the team this year? Football, the real sport.
I'm actually excited.
Ooh, that's a scary word around these parts.
Yeah. I'm excited until I'm not excited, I guess.
I feel like it's a very under the radar off season, like for a team that has so much returning, certainly offensively, to finish the year strong. There's really not much, I don't say respect, right? But there's not much the prognosticators think is going to come from that. What are we, middle of the pack, Big 12 preseason kind of ranking? On the outside, what are we, like 29, 35 range of receiving votes in both of the polls?
If you go by that, over the last 2 years, we were picked, last? And we finished fourth?
Something like that.
So if we're picked in the middle, that means we should win it all, right?
I like
Pat McAfee thinks we're going to the playoff. I mean, you guys saw that. So
it's not that far fetched.
With 12, I agree. He did have us in the bye range, though, which I thought was
because we would be conference champion, right? Conference champions.
Yeah, conference.
They automatically get the bye. Is that the setup this year? Oh, interesting.
But all of the I don't know what you want to call them, the like predictors give us two teams anyway. So you have the winner, so your first and second is basically getting in the playoff. They've had Oklahoma State and Kansas State in most of the ones I've seen. So that's two teams. Regardless, we don't have to play Utah this year, which is weird because they've got Utah is winning the Big 12 and most.
Yeah. We'll play them in the Big 12 championship, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But all of the scenarios that I've seen have been like Oklahoma State and Kansas State, not very many Utah. So I don't know if they're not expecting them to, do what they should, I guess.
I think I was watching a little bit of Game Day on Saturday, and I think everybody other than Pat and Seamus had picked Utah to win the Big 12.
Right.
It reminds me a lot, not to get the hype up too far, but it reminds me a lot of the 2006 season with new look Big East. Louisville was coming into the conference. Everybody was, they were coming off of a great season the year before. Everybody was saying Louisville's the new beast of the East, and we showed them that was not the case. Took us 3 overtimes, but we ended up having a great year that year. 2005, 2006 season, right?
It's
we won the Sugar Bowl. So
the Pat and Steve coming out party.
And I think overall, looking at this year for me, I am more optimistic than I have been for any other year. listening to the press conferences and stuff leading up to this, the teams and a lot of the stuff you've been hearing is people are like, oh yeah, everybody's sleeping on us. I don't really like that attitude. I would appreciate a little less talk and a little bit more like, all right, well, we'll show them on game day. Neil Brown had his press conference today, and his direct words were, we're going to be a great football team. And that to me is a bit scary, but I mean, this first game is, I don't know. First of all, we can have an amazing year and lose this game 40-0. That's like a little bit of perspective I'm trying to keep. But at the same time, like, we play in 2 games against Penn State. You like to go 1-1 there, you really would.
I don't disagree at all with like the whole, we can't set our season up on this one game because, and at the same time, I'm like feeling like Penn State maybe like overrated a little bit every year.
But they have 3 new coordinators. That's what scares me.
Right. A new quarterback too, right? Like,
well, the one coordinator, like, wasn't he there before and came back?
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, either way, like, every year they talk about the Big Ten, they talk about Ohio State, they talk about Penn State, they talk about Michigan. And every year they always say, got to watch Penn State, got to watch Penn State. And they always hang around, but they lose every game that they're, supposed to lose.
Yeah.
So
I just think too, so much of this, and I think it'll be less important, at least thankfully now with the 12-team playoff. But I hated so much of it because the preseason to me is bullshit, like the rankings, right, and the prognostication. Because like, look at us last year, not even our record, but just I think we were like the 5th hardest strength of schedule going into last season. And then we were looking at it at the end of the season going, we played nobody. You know what I mean? You just don't know how any of these teams are going to play out. So I think it's kind of a crapshoot on that front. But I mean, anytime, Penn State's Penn State still. It's got the cachet, whether they're, legit top 10 team or not. I hate the fact it's a noon game, though. God, I hate that.
Yeah.
Night game would have been, that's a perfect night game atmosphere. That place would, I think it'll be wild as it is, but
I think the problem with it is that Fox does things ass backwards than ESPN does. They have big noon, so they want everybody tuned in at noon.
Yeah.
Because I think Penn State played. Oh shoot, they had a big conference game last year that they played at noon, and I thought, why is this game not in prime time?
Michigan and Ohio State always play at noon, right? Like that's like
it's at least noon or 3:30.
Yeah.
It's never a night game.
Yeah. And
I've never understood that, and I don't know, because to me, like, you want to put everything, your big games, and it seems like a big game for us because obviously we're West Virginia fans, and this is the first time Penn State's been to Morgantown since how long? 30 years.
Long time.
So
90s?
it's obviously, we're biased about that. It's a big game for us, but I just feel like you need to get people, like, just turn the TV on at noon. Watch Illinois and Rutgers play, kind of pay attention.
Those are the games you watch while you're tailgating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hell, this game's close. Let's pay attention to it for the last 3 minutes. So,
yeah, I don't know what Fox is thinking on that front.
We did all right against Pitt because we played Pitt as our season opener at Pitt, our first game of the season, but it was a night game.
That's right. Yeah.
The last few times that I've been in Morgantown for season openers have been noon games, and they've been against cupcake teams. We have not played well. Like, it is late in the second half before we start pulling away. That's what scares me. Like, I feel like we get a little amped up for a night game, our first game of the season, and things are going to be okay. But, like, a noon game scares me a little bit.
That's what, and back to the coordinators on their side is, maybe something that makes me feel a little optimistic is which team would be more likely to have a little rust that they'd have to work out the kinks of on the first game of the season. Would it be the season, us who's returning a lot of starters on offense, who, has the same staff in place for the most part, or them who's bringing in 3 new coordinators, That gives me a little bit of hope going into a hostile environment. Again, that does make me a little bit optimistic there. But I'll just say it. I was looking at the spread. Penn State's favored by 8.5. If somebody held a gun to my head and said, you have to pick, where would you put your money? I'd have a hard time not picking them. I would. I
get it.
There's two ways of looking at it. Last year we played them, close into the fourth quarter. It was at Penn State, so you got to give us a little bit of benefit of the doubt in Morgantown instead of at Penn State. We're a better team than last year by every measure. We think we're going to be. So on that front, it's yeah, okay. But then on the other, it's when has Neil Brown delivered?
Especially, yeah. I'm. So if you isolate it away from the team, right? Because obviously you want to see how does the team perform. But I'm more interested to see how he performs, right? Because I think look how he went into Penn State last year into Happy Valley, trying not to lose a game, right? He didn't go in there just going to throw it at, be aggressive right from go. We're the underdog. Let's go in here and punch him in the face. It's he was content to keep it tight and go to the fourth. And then eventually, the better, bigger team on paper, won out. So I'm hoping to see a different, right? He's got to change that mentality at some point, hopefully. And I would love to at least see, regardless of win or lose that game, just an aggressive style, right? Him not being conservative and
right.
Playing not to lose, him playing to win from the opening kickoff.
We need him to be like Holgorsen was at Texas whenever he said, go fucking win the game.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to win the game? Let's go fucking win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, too, that I don't know that it's supposed to rain Saturday. Shit. That could be a big.
So I'll admit, I don't know. What do you guys know about Penn State? This year, right, versus last year? What is their
quarterback got talked up last year, he was going to be, the next great Penn State quarterback, but he didn't really produce numbers, I don't think.
My impression is that Penn State has not been able to get over the Ohio State, Michigan hump. And the fan base up there is basically Rich, you got to do something about this. And he's okay. And so finally last year, he fired his whole staff. And it's this is not acceptable. And so, he's not on the hot seat. But if this doesn't work, then the next fingers are going to get pointed at him. So that's where I would say they're at right now. Who else did they lose to last year? They lost to they lost to Michigan, and they lost to Ohio State. Who else? I'm sure there's another game in there that they lost.
Let's take a look. See.
Yeah, give me a minute here. I'll look it up. But I agree with you. I feel that they're just always they're good, but they're not Ohio State good.
Ohio State,
I'm not going to worry about them. If we were playing Ohio State, if we were playing the 2024 Ohio State Buckeyes this year, I'd be we don't have a chance.
They lost 2 games.
No chance.
To Michigan and Ohio State, and then the bowl game, right?
And then the bowl game to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So, that's a pretty good season.
38-15. Yeah, I'm taking 8.5.
But
I take that.
But they lost 2 games, but look who they played.
Yeah, Rutgers, who we played.
West
Maryland,
Virginia.
Indiana, Massachusetts.
They played us.
I know they played us. But
they beat Michigan State 42-0. Jeez.
Yeah, but Michigan State was trash last year.
Yeah, I'm sure. They
had their they were terrible.
I guess the big question mark for me, it seems to be. So I think last year, my takeaway from probably the first few games of the season, right, is he being Neil was very conservative in play calling with Garrett, kind of trying to ease him in, and then obviously Nico had to come in and play those couple games when Garrett was out. Garrett comes back, like he got the rhythm and he got it. And I think he earned his trust where he's progressively got more aggressive in his play calling and let Garrett kind of be Garrett. So, I mean, presumably Garrett comes into this season, right, with that only room to go up, right? Like he shouldn't, hopefully,
and
right?
People,
no
the
backslide.
reports are that he's improved drastically. He went to the Manning Pass Academy and got an accolade there. I saw something today that said that his completion percentage has gone up by double digits. I mean, granted, that can only be based off of practices and scrimmages, but still, people are saying that he has taken a step. Neil Brown said that he's, if not the most, he's one of the higher, most underrated players in the nation.
I mean, I just don't see. Granted, like we lost Frazier, right? We lost some pieces on the offensive line, but by all accounts, feels like we've got guys that have got a lot of snaps. They're going to fill those slots. At least be serviceable.
Yeah, our offensive line still has a lot of snaps between them.
Right. So, I mean, it's like, really, I mean, this is where I try not to get too ridiculous, but you're like, our offense should be stupid. Like, it really, if you get some of these young wide receivers, to step up and, take it to the next level.
I'm not so worried.
We'll call right now, baby.
Yeah.
Day Farmer.
But, I'm not worried about the offense as much as I am the defense. There's questions with the defense.
Yes, yeah. And they're always, that's us every year, I feel like, in his entire career.
But I didn't feel, our defenses, whenever Rich was coaching with Pat and Steve, they were not the greatest, but they weren't the best.
Yeah, they were serviceable.
They weren't terrible, but we still.
They were bend but don't break.
Yeah, but we knew that if we get into a shootout scenario, we're going to win.
Yeah,
they'll get a couple.
So we didn't worry about it. But now it's we got Garrett can make some freaking plays, but he also sometimes tries to make too much play.
Yeah,
and that's what worries me. He gets against a team that's got a good secondary. He's going to throw some interceptions, and that's going to be the difference because we're not going. If we don't score when they score, and we get down 2 scores, I don't know that we're going to get out of those holes.
Yeah, how does he? Which I think is the same thing, right? It's like that playing maturity level, like you said, making smart decisions. But also, it's does he learn to channel that passion he's got, right? Because sometimes you're just what the fuck are you doing, right? Like ripping your helmet off at Houston, right?
Right.
You take, it's and he showed a lot of that, which you love. You love the energy, you love that, but use it the right way now. You know what I mean? Show me now that you're essentially this is your team. Right, this is your offense.
Yeah, use it for some swagger instead of I don't know. I feel like if you put that, if you humble that swagger and put it, somewhere else, you're going to be way better. And I feel like that he needs to take a page out of Pat White's book because I feel like he did that.
Mm-hmm.
He did it the right way.
I really hope the crowd represents and shows up. I want him to channel inner white trash 1990 West Virginia.
Yes.
And at noon, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Fill it up. I don't want to be watching the kickoff and 3/4 of the stadium's full, but they're filling in. It's be there, ready to go at kickoff.
I saw an article that this game this weekend is the highest single ticket sales average in all of week 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm not going because for that reason.
$240 a ticket.
$240.
Call me cheap. I was I can't, I want to go with my family. I'm not going to spend that. I'll go watch it in the comfort of my home.
I'll go watch him play
when
Albany.
You used to get free tickets for buying a 12-pack of Coke. Or was that Snowshoe I'm thinking of?
That was Snowshoe.
Snowshoe, Mountaineers, all one and the same.
I'm sure there was some type of deal like that. I think it was maybe you had to buy a 12-pack of Zools and you got
Zools.
That's crazy. $240. But it's going to be on. I would love to be there, but I hope the crowd represents and really does us proud.
I think people are jacked up. I think they will.
I mean, if you look at ticket sales, right? That shit is legit. And then, like you said, Chad, I was popping on. You just pulled it. Yeah, they've dropped a little bit because there was a moment where the tickets. And granted, there's not that many. I don't think still remaining even on StubHub, but at one point they were $500 like the cheapest one on StubHub. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to pay $500. Like, I love the Mountaineers, right? I mean, come on, man. It's the
paying
first
like
game.
3 times as much as your season tickets for one game.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why season tickets and the mini package deals are up, right? They're smart. They packaged it so this game.
Talk about a culture clash. You're going to get somebody who paid $500 for 4 tickets sitting next to somebody who got their season tickets in 1980 handed down to them generationally. Like the one time they leave the holler is to go to a West Virginia game.
Yeah, they're
that could be it.
These things were free. I've had so much
sneaking in tequila and lemons in their jacket, you know.
That was a special day. That was a special day.
Yeah. Yes.
We used to drink. When we were in that tequila phase, we would have so much. We were intaking so much lemon that my mouth got like acid burn from it.
Yeah.
And it dried everything out from like the salt and the lemon. I was like,
I think I wore through my enamel on my teeth. We literally we had a mini bar in the jacket. It'd be like, open the jacket up. You're like, we got salt. We got lemon,
lime. What do you want?
We're good.
Them's the days. Was fun.
Them's the days. Oh, did you notice? Maybe before we turn the page too far, but another significant, major breaking news this summer: the return of EA Sports College Football 25 and Dynasty, as you know, because you played. But did you see the little ticket stub in the bottom right corner? Like when you're on the Dynasty page. It's got Garrett Green. If you look in the bottom right corner, it's 2000 and what was that year? 3 Virginia Tech game ticket stub.
Yeah. October 18th.
Yeah, I was like, all right, let's go.
I think it was October 18th.
It was magical, just magical.
Man.
Okay, so Penn State. Let's do a quick. So Dylan, I feel like you didn't bury the lead because it feels like you're going over Penn State on the 8.5.
Well,
but
okay, so
it was 15.5. It was 15.5.
Oh my! Okay,
in the middle of summer.
All right.
So you got to
before we get into this, let me throw an idea out to you guys, okay? Because I think this would be fascinating, and also maybe the quickest $50 that we ever lost in our entire lives. What do we say? We all go in $50, each of us $50, and each week we bet on a game. We could say that we bet on the Mountaineer game every single week, and we see how.
I can't do that.
Okay,
there's no way.
All right. So, all right.
Take that off the board.
We pick a game. We'll pick a game each week, and we bet on that game, and we see how high we can get up to. If we get it up high enough, we'll have a bro vacation, a weekend in Vegas, or something paid for by college football. What do you say?
Let's do a 10-leg parlay.
All we have to do is win one week, and we're good. One weekend, we're done.
Garrett Brown for Heisman is like plus 20,000 right now, so we can just put 150 on Garrett Green for Heisman. 150 wins like 300,000.
If he won Heisman, we could go to the moon.
Yeah.
So, not on a Boeing.
I'm going to do it. If you guys don't want to, I'm going to do it. I also think we should pick our records this year. But
I think we should. If we do that, I think that we need to each come. All right, so independently, each do homework, right, and come with your projected team. Your game and your pick, right? Because I feel like if we do that and we all look and we all have the same game. That's what I mean. It's a little indicative of we've right-sized something. I hate the first week though. Listen, I hate the first week.
Okay, all right. So we won't do it this week. That's fine. I'm doing it this week, and the game that I have picked out is Jack State versus Coastal Carolina. Jack State is favored by 2.5. I think that they crush them. Ooh, so I'm picking Jack State. I
don't know, man. Is it the Chancellors? Is that their name?
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina's been pretty good, though, right?
Well, but they lost their coach, quarterback, but he's gone.
Yeah, they hired NC State's offensive coordinator. He went 8-3 last year. So I think I'm liking that. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I also saw UNC versus Minnesota. UNC's I think picked to lose by like 1.5. It's at Minnesota though. The Jack State game is at Jack State. So that's the one that I'm picking out there.
I'm gonna have to dig in on that.
Okay.
I feel like
I look forward to that.
there's some shitty Big Ten games probably like the go-to pick.
Well, yeah.
I always felt that way.
I haven't got to look yet at any of the
a lot of the spreads
games.
are ridiculous though. Like there's some on there that are like 35, 40 points spread.
What was the Florida State line?
Florida State was favored by 10.5.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
That's a bad
Yeah.
beat.
I'm glad they put them to sleep early.
Oh, don't worry. They'll be back in the mix like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I hate
It
that.
does suck. It sucks to have the season they had last year
Here we
get
go.
left
Yeah.
out, and you kind of want to go on this like I don't want to say redemption tour, right? But where you're just like we're gonna prove that we were that great, and then you lose the first game out of the gate.
Is Texas A&M, and did you see that one?
Yeah, I don't remember what the spread was.
3.
And who are they playing?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from either of those teams.
You got a brand new coach.
I'm still in love with Rich Rod, and I'm willing to bet that he's gonna destroy Coastal Carolina.
He's got something up the sleeve. He's going to put a little more air in the helmet.
Yeah. Here's one right here. Fresno and Michigan. New quarterback, new coach, 21.5.
Oof.
I feel like the other side of that, though, because I do think there's some logic there, but the other side of that is the new coach wants to prove he's not going to take his foot off the pedal. I mean,
Yeah, but who's their backup? We never got to see him last year, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you remember when there was like
I'm sure he was.
There was a point in time. This is like our 2000s, right? This was like the college era where we knew so much shit about football. Like every single team, like could tell you. I kind of miss those days. I'm not gonna lie.
We put some money on a game way back in the day, and we got it right. I think we only did it once, and we got it right.
I think we had a couple trailer bets.
Yeah, it was Wake Forest. We put money on Wake Forest over somebody, and we
when you're you put money on Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons in football.
We knew our stuff.
You're deep. You're going deep.
Yeah. Either that or you got a problem.
Yeah. I'm putting all in on Vanderbilt. I don't care who they're
By the
playing.
end of this podcast, everything in my house is going to be gone. I'm going to be like, guys, I gotta get it back this week. Seriously, you guys pick for me.
We're going to be online. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
It might be the real near and far podcast because I'll be like living with one of you guys.
You're more than welcome to be fantastic.
I'm definitely a fan of like doing that. If we can, pick one.
I think the interesting part about doing it in West Virginia is, can you imagine let's like the conversation that we would have right now. We would have to choose: are we going to pick West Virginia to beat 8.5, or are we going to?
That's why I can't do it. That's why I can't do it. That
conversation would be awesome, though. It really would be. But no, I kind of agree. You can't do it.
It's almost like I would want to bet against us, right? Because then it's a win-win. Like we lose.
Although
then it gives me that feeling
we could lose by 4, and then you're just like,
true.
I lost my money, and we still lost.
And that's, to be clear, that's what will happen if I bet on West Virginia.
Right.
It's like I feel like it's just this rule
But
thing.
Bad. If we pull an upset and lose money, I'm okay with that.
Right. So we could just pick it's called. I'm so
just
like
the money
new with
line.
this. It's called the money line, where we can just pick us as winners every week, because that's what we would do. And we see.
Here's one: Miami at Florida. Miami is 2.5 points.
Ooh, I like Florida.
Who's Florida's coach now?
This would take Florida. I feel like that's the one I would bet on.
So so in future weeks we'll come with our near and far stone cold locks.
Stone cold locks.
If I had stone cold locks, I would have a nice pair of headphones.
That's what Chad's going to spend with his first winnings. He's going to show up each week with a little more gear. He's like, yep. Chad's been winning his picks. I can tell.
For the listeners at home, Chad's on his cell phone right now because his headphones they had issues.
Tell them what they are.
They're he calls them Wii headphones. I'm thinking he means Switch.
Yes.
They're not quite that old, but they're Switch headphones, and they're red and blue. They sound like they're
sound
Wii
fucking
headphones.
terrible. Not gonna lie. It sounds like either between you muffled or just somebody crumpling paper in the microphone the whole time.
So now we just got it with the phone, but this isn't too bad.
So
Right.
Billy Napier on that front, is this his second year or third year at Florida?
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I mean. I had to even remind myself who the head coach at
Yeah,
Florida was.
He's going to be third.
I'm just picking SEC over Miami's like 20.
Hey
straight
man,
years of
that's
mediocre.
a good point, right? The conference shuffle, like we get
Ooh.
all new alignments this year. It's
Yeah.
all new teams.
There's been so many rumors.
we have a weird draw on our schedule. You know, if you look at, I don't know if that was like a benefit to us, right? Of like, hey, you've got the furthest travel distance, so we'll kind of, you know, not make you travel to Utah and Colorado this year.
We never got to play Holgerson.
We did last year.
We did last year.
I mean, in Morgantown, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw he threw some shit out there a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's an analyst, by the way. Why are they even doing press conferences? Do analysts normally do press conferences, by the way? Like, what was that all about? Yeah, he's reviewing. My understanding of his role on that team is he's reviewing film and then giving recommendations. Like, he's not on the sideline, not traveling with the team, none of that. He's reviewing film and then making recommendations off of that. TCU. He used to work.
Sonny Dykes hired like
Yeah.
every former coach in his same tree that was out of a job to
Gotcha.
come work for him as an analyst, practically. Todd Graham also added.
To TCU.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good God.
Yep.
The Britney Spears microphone user
Yeah.
still was better than Chad somehow, but why did he use that microphone? Like, why? Like, at what point did you decide I'm going to be different than everybody else? It's like he used like the
You
weirdest.
got that little tiny thing?
It was the Britney Spears like live performance microphone.
Was
Uh,
handed down by Garth Brooks.
I wonder if
I'm
he
just
didn't wanna
looking.
mess up his
Goddamn,
hair.
he has aged, man. He does not.
That's what
That's it.
football do.
quick-
You're not
No
winning.
shit, dude. I forgot he was at Hawaii. At what point
jeez.
when was what
I didn't know
controversial ex-Hawaii coach? What is controversial? Like, that's the headline. Is hired by Sonny Dykes. I'm like, what did I miss?
What a fall from grace that was.
Yeah.
NC State's a 33-point favorite against Western Carolina.
Yeah, I saw that.
33 points.
Mm-hmm. NC State is going to be good this year. I might sneak to one of those games, man. I'm excited for them.
Hit the Wolfpack, baby.
Yeah.
A lot of these games don't even
What'd you say, Chad?
I said a lot of these games don't even have lines on them.
Yeah. Well, that's. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Jack. I think Jacksonville State beats Coastal Carolina by more than 2.5. I'll be $100 richer. I'll take 50 of that, and we'll throw it on our Stone Cold lock for next week.
All right,
And then I'll keep rolling mine.
I'm going to go with Florida over Miami. I like that one.
Wait, we're not doing it until next week.
I know, but I'm going to do this
Okay,
one.
that's just in your head. That's what you're doing it.
No, I'm going to do it for real.
Okay. All right. That's Chad's Stone Cold.
Yes, I won't be denied. He says.
Okay.
But that was
What is this officially week 1? I guess it is, right?
Yeah, I guess.
week 0. Florida State lost before the season started, technically.
That's how bad they are.
Yeah.
They suck so bad that they lost before the season started.
We're starting the season 0-1.
God.
Oh, that does suck.
Florida State's starting to be like Duke and Notre Dame to me.
Your fan base is so annoying. You have to start every season with a loss.
Okay, so big ones. What? Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, A&M, Penn State, WVU, Miami, Florida. Ooh, LSU and USC, huh?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
In Las Vegas on a Sunday.
Who's favored there?
LSU 4.5.
4.5. Oh, I like that. I think they beat them by more than 4.5. Personally, I think LSU kills USC.
Who's the LSU or who is? Yeah,
USC.
USC's the guy who left Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, Lincoln, but their quarterback didn't they get the Ohio State transfer or who'd they get?
So,
Somebody.
USC has a returning starter at quarterback. LSU.
No. USC's quarterback last year was Caleb Williams. That's who went to.
Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is where it gets insane right now with like NIL and transfer portal because you're just like, we can't even remember. Like, we don't even need to remember who was on their team because they probably just went and got a quarterback in the transfer
Dylan
portal.
Gabriel went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's starting quarterback for the last 2 years just went to Ohio State.
I thought he went to. Did he?
He went to one of those teams.
Oregon.
Yeah. Sorry. Same.
Somebody
thing.
else left though.
Starts
too,
with
right?
an L.
I
really like LSU in that game though.
God, who is LSU's quarterback though? I always like LSU. I feel like LSU is like good enough to beat anybody at any time, but it's just.
And as much as I hate Brian Kelly, I think he's a good coach. He's still there, right? He hasn't had a heart attack yet, has he?
Nah.
Okay.
Ricky Collins, maybe? No, he's a freshman.
Ricky Collins?
No, wait a minute. Showing AJ Swan and Garrett Nussmeyer are juniors. I don't know which one's the starter though. They have 2 junior quarterbacks and 3 freshman quarterbacks. And both of those guys are.
Oh, you know who I can't stand, by the way, which I've always not been able to stand him, but
Lou
I
Holtz?
feel like more recently it's just reminded me is Deion Sanders.
Oh,
yeah.
I cannot wait. They're going to be a train wreck this year, and he's going to get fired, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Such a prick.
Yeah.
They never had that $30 million that they promised him to begin with, so they're going to not have $30 million when they fire him.
Dude, did you see that they were trying to get NIL money from Saudi Arabia?
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I saw that headline, unless it was fake news, which, today's day and age, who knows? But yeah, I saw a report that said that they were trying to get NIL money through Saudi Arabia, which is
Wouldn't surprise me. They're like, hey, live golf. This is the college version of football. Let's go.
It would not surprise me.
Ohio State spent $20 million.
Saw that headline where they went. It's like they went all in. It's like national championship or bust. $20 million NIL roster, essentially.
Man.
Yeah.
I hope they also fail miserably.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah,
Brian Day's going to get fired for just losing to Michigan every year. Like, he's just going to lose 3 games in 3 seasons and be fired.
Can you imagine that? Going 11-1 every year? Get fired.
Being on the hot seat?
Yeah. He doesn't beat Michigan, it's not going to matter.
Even better, he beats them this year, and they're like, well, you never beat Harbaugh, so
it
doesn't even count. Yeah.
It doesn't count. Put an asterisk.
All right, so we'll do our research for next week.
I'll put one
with
together.
our Stone Cold locks. And then we'll see how Chad and I's Stone Cold locks went this week.
You need to come up. We need to think of something too. I'd like to get suggestions as to an equivalent of Stone Cold, but without calling it Stone Cold.
Okay. So
I don't know what. But dig deep and think. What did you say?
All right. Let's. We're pretty good at this stuff, but you got to give us some time. I don't think we can do it on the spot.
Yeah, you're good. Not on the fly. I'm just saying, chew on that too, along with team. Yeah, week 2.
Let's make sure that it's like super like long and obnoxious.
The money musket.
It can't be like short and sweet. It's got to be like really long.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
The almost perfect, maybe likely to win Cold Stone Lock.
Yes, almost. I'm pretty sure that I had a dream about it.
All right. Do you guys want to pick the go through the schedule and pick the games?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I got it up here.
I will say the old ESPN Future Power Index for 2024 was not. I mean, you know what? It's interesting because we could kind of, as we go through these, look and talk about what they had it at. Because it probably actually, like, when I got to the end and saw the record, I was like, that's bullshit. And then I scanned back through, I was like, That's plausible. It's not that unreasonable.
Our schedule is kind of tough. 3 of our first 5 games are against top 25 teams.
Yeah.
And that's not counting. I mean, obviously, Pittsburgh's not a top 25 team. That's kind of crazy.
I don't think they're very good. I know it's a rivalry game, but I know that they're not very good.
Well, right now, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Kansas
5.
good.
I think we played 6 ranked opponents this year.
Yeah.
Right now, ranked.
Well, yeah, that's the whole right. I mean, you looked at ours last year; it looked loaded.
So we've
tough.
got, and Arizona's nobody we can look over.
No, they lost their coach too, though, right?
Yeah, but they got a quarterback too.
Yeah.
It's
It's gonna be a fun year. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Ryan, I guess if you're looking at the power index, I'll say the game, and then you give us the rundown on what the power index says.
What's the power?
Okay.
Is that going to work?
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to pick it up. The
all right. So Penn State, West Virginia. I guess I don't have to say the West Virginia part, do I?
No.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
I have to take West Virginia.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to be realistic. I think. Listen, I thought that they could make it a game last year, which, as you said, they did for 3 quarters. Obviously, didn't make it that way. I think home's a different ball game. I think continuity-wise on our side, certainly offensively, I think we have the better team.
I do feel better this year about
the
game than last year. And
I mean, honestly, if you made me bet, I'm like you, where you're like, oh, I don't know, like what, but part of me's, was it 8.5 currently?
8.5,
I might still take West Virginia, but I really do think, fuck it, man, I'm just going West Virginia.
Chad?
I feel like I said, I feel better this year than I did last year. Even though last year they showed flashes that, they played better than I thought they would. I'm still going to say we're going to lose. But
hey, do you know what the overall series record is with Penn State?
49-9.
49-9-2. Yeah, that's obviously shouldn't have any bearing on this, but it's insane that they were a rival for all those years when they were just kicking the shit out of us.
Yeah, how do you call that a rivalry game?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Penn State, but I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say Penn State. I think we beat the spread, but I'm going to say Penn State wins the game. I think we lose by 4.
All right, FPI's got us at losing a 22.3% chance of winning.
Okay.
That's better than against Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. So moving
on. Albany is their next game.
The Great Danes, by the way.
Oh,
is that not the coolest fucking mascot ever?
It's not the worst.
Right. It's not a pussy ass bulldog. It's a big ass Great Dane
or a Nittany Lion, a cat. Yeah. Albany.
I assume this is a unanimous across the board WVU pick.
Move on. Right?
This will surprise you a little bit because I would think that this would be, no percentages, right? But 99 point something, 95.6% chance of winning. Feels.
What's crazy about that is so they have a 5% and we only have a 20% against Penn State.
Yeah, that seems. Yeah, the Great Danes, man.
It's all about their name.
All right, pick.
Oh God, we have to do this. We are a perfect 24-0 in games against FCS opponents.
Oh, geez.
So we might as well pick the Great Danes now.
Yeah, we're gonna beat Penn State 40-0 and then lose to Albany. That's what's gonna happen.
That's the West Virginia way.
Yes. Pitt.
I'm going with Pitt.
What?
Just kidding.
Stop. So we're looking for a new co-host for the podcast. Anybody want to apply? You can never pick Pitt.
Eat shit, Pitt. WVU.
Yeah.
Although, this one's back at Pitt, right? This is back at what the hell is the stadium now? Acrisure or something fucking shit.
Azazier.
But I mean,
Three Rivers, isn't it?
we usually pack that one pretty good, and
Yeah.
But
they always wear their
pregame packages to get the tickets to that one.
Yeah, they're trying to make it happen, right? So
yeah, but the last time we were up there, they were coming off of a good year, and the fan base was a little hyped up. This year, I don't think they're good again this year. So
No.
55.7%. So
for us,
okay. For us.
Okay. All right.
Number 22, Kansas.
This is a toss-up.
This is a tough one.
It's at home.
It's at home.
Did they lose their offensive coordinator? Is that who went to Penn State? Maybe. I don't know.
They got the same quarterback back though, right? The guy's a stud.
Yeah, he got hurt last year. Their head coach came back.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tough game.
I think. Yeah.
I take West Virginia.
I'll take West Virginia. I'll take us as well.
For those keeping score at home, that's 4-0, baby.
3-1 for me. What about you, Chad?
If it was at Kansas, I would probably go with Kansas, but since it's at home, I'm going to go with West Virginia.
Okay.
That was kind of my logic a little too.
What's the ESPN thing say, Ryan?
45.2%. So we are not favored.
Okay.
So they're taking the rock chalk on that one.
I imagine we're not going to be favored in any.
Hey, you remember last time we were talking about Kansas being a good football team? Was like when Mangino was eating fish on the sideline, tossing them up to him. What happened to that guy? I think he's in the NFL now, like an assistant.
Okie State is the next game. Number 17
in that game.
I'll give us a loss. That's going to be my first loss of the year.
State. I think we lose one of those two games, either Kansas or Oklahoma State. I guess we're all picking Oklahoma State to lose.
They always have our number.
Yeah.
Okie State has won 8 of the last 9 games.
So not in our favor.
Last time, yeah, exactly.
It's a toss-up. What's your ESPN thing you say?
40.9%. So Okie State winning that one too.
That's better than what I thought.
Yeah.
Iowa State.
I think it's a toss-up too. I think they're down, but it seems like we just don't play well against them. Remember whenever Greer played for us, we were good, and like we lost that game.
Yeah, they've had some solid years in there, though. I mean, losing to them isn't like it used to be losing to Iowa State.
I think Campbell's a little hot seatish though, which you'd think you'd never say that, right? Like but I think it was some of the way he handled the press last year too, and had a couple kind of meltdowns.
It's a home game. It is a home
game.
Yeah.
I'm going
to go West Virginia.
I pick us. Yeah.
They got us 62.1%.
Oh wow. Okay, so I mean, big favorites compared to our other games. That's the most favorite game so far, other than Albany. Okay. Next up is Kansas State, and that's a home game as well. 18. They're ranked 18th right now.
I'm going with us on that one as well. We play well against Kansas State. Seems like.
Yeah, I mean it's God, we couldn't get them off our back for a long time. Remember that was like the lone team in addition to Oklahoma that we hadn't beaten for a while there. I'm going to take West Virginia. I mean, if it was in
Manhattan,
right? Yeah. I'd probably take K-State, but I'll give us the benefit on the home field advantage and take West Virginia.
Yeah, I'll take us as well. I've got us with 2 losses. Chad, you got us with 2 losses. Ryan, you're still at 1. That's Okie State, right?
Yes, okay. I've got 1 loss so far, and so it's just interesting the stat they were throwing up, which is it's been pretty balanced. I mean, if you look at it, 7-6 is our series against K-State. We've played, so the first time was in like the 30s or something, but other than that, it's been K-State. Remember that was what's it? I mean, it was the White Wizard, right? But I was trying to remember the quarterback. What was the guy's name?
Will.
The year that they went like crazy and, like, won
Yeah,
BCS games?
just like white dude kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
his
don't
name was
remember it.
Will something, right? Will.
I don't know, but those years, like they beat our ass. Like when we first joined the Big 12, and like they just annihilated us. Like it wasn't even, it's definitely been much more balanced since we picked up that win. And
Yeah.
but that's a tough one. I don't know.
What does ESPN say?
ESPN has us losing, but it's 47.2%. So
Okay.
It's not far off. And these, as they do, they adjust these obviously every week of the season based on the performance. But Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah.
So we got back-to-back Wildcats games there.
Was Jake Waters? Is that the name?
What, of their quarterback or the new coach?
Their quarterback.
Was that Kyle, or what was this? Was it Kyle something?
Well, let's see. I'm looking. Keep going.
I'm going to pick Arizona in that game. I think those are two really tough games back to back. I think we lose one of them. I'm going to say the unfamiliarity of Arizona gets the best of us, and we lose to Arizona.
Colin Klein. That's who I was thinking.
Yes,
of. Colin
the
Klein.
Kansas State quarterback.
Remember that dude? Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. This one's. I'm gonna take Arizona. I mean, it's just, to me, it's you've got. I'm trying to look to see when our bye game slides in there, right? Which I think is at the end of September. So we have that Kansas game, which is obviously going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
We have a bye, and then we reel off Okie State, Iowa State, Kansas State, Arizona, which is, man, that's just, that's not a good. I mean, really, it's hard. Obviously, we'll see how it all pans out in the end, but it's a pretty tough schedule.
So we
things.
A State coming off the bye week, which,
I know, it was a good and bad thing.
And then we have a bye after Arizona as well.
Yeah. So Arizona at Arizona, first time playing them, in conference play.
2 bye weeks?
Yeah, I guess so.
Huh. Okay. I'm going to take Arizona on that one too.
Yeah, then ESPN agrees. They got 34.6%.
Oh, geez. Heavy underdogs there.
Wow.
So to give you an idea, just rank, like we didn't talk about it, but the FPI rank of the opposing teams, they're 6th, Penn State, not applicable for the Great Danes.
You can't rank a Great Dane.
53rd for the Pitt Panthers, 17th for Kansas, the Jayhawks.
Wow.
26th for Oklahoma State, 47th for Iowa State, 22nd for K-State, and 24th for Arizona. So, I mean, you've got, 5 teams in the top 25?
Yeah.
On that stretch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think like a lot of people have UCF like on the edge of it. We'll get to them. Next game is Cincinnati. Chad, you picked Arizona.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. At Cincinnati.
I'm going with us.
Yeah, me too. We don't lose to Cincinnati. This is the rivalry. This is our Big 12 rival, right?
Yeah.
Old Big East. We were Big East foes for what, 2 years? A year?
Yeah. No. Yes. A year.
Not very long. All right. What do you?
Was
got?
was that across the board on Arizona?
Yeah, all three of us picked Arizona.
So we're up. So that's 2 losses on my side.
3 for
then
me.
we play Cincinnati, the Bearcats. Yeah. Going into Cincinnati, though, I've got some shitty, weird memories about Cincinnati playing in that tiny, intimate, but yet this is like the Rich Rod days, like in maybe the post. Yeah.
I was at a Cincinnati game where they ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And we got down like 20 points, and then they came back and took it to overtime, and then we lost in overtime.
Is that when McAfee hit that field goal to send it to overtime? Yeah, I think
after him. I think.
I know the
Bill
one
Stewart's
you're talking
first
about.
year, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so.
Well, they always play that Michael Myers Halloween music. at their stadium, like in a night game. I think it's what scares me.
Scary.
So you going with Cincinnati?
Bolted. They got a new coach though, right? Because Fickle just went to where did he go? Wisconsin? Is that where he's at now?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Neil's still with us, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I think, obviously I'm going to take W in that one.
Yeah. All right.
62.9%.
Chad, you said WVU, right? Us?
Yes.
All right. Baylor at West Virginia.
God damn, we play a lot of football games, guys. Are you sure you want to bet every week?
Well, we'll see what we get up to.
Yeah.
Are they trash again, apparently?
I don't think he's squarely on the hottest of hot seats. He's got to have success this year. I think he's gone.
Man. Yeah.
It's at home. I'll take West Virginia.
He's from Alabama, right?
He was on their staff, right? Arandis, is that his name?
Aranda.
I don't remember.
Veranda. Dave Aranda.
Dave Aranda writes.
Yep. Yeah, he came from LSU. Baylor.
Right.
Yeah.
Defensive coordinator.
Right.
Never hire a defensive coordinator, ever.
No.
Not unless it's Kirby Smart.
I don't know, man. It worked for LSU for their flash in the pan national championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say never because I'm always rooting for Gibby.
That's true. Yeah. Never hire a defensive coordinator unless it's Gibby or Kirby Smart or less smiles. Less smiles. He smiles too much. He's got to cut it out.
Who are you talking about?
What's Les Miles, right?
Yeah.
That was his name.
Whatever happened to the Joker? Yeah. I think he pretty much went down, right? Things didn't look good. Investigation after the fact. He was at Kansas too and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take. So we got. Is that 3 West Virginias against Baylor there?
3 West Virginia.
Yeah, 66%.
Okay.
W on that one, and then the UCF Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm. That's Morgan. A lot of people are saying UCF is going to take a big step this year.
So
don't sleep on the UCF.
You can never sleep on them, man.
Can't sleep on Florida talent.
No.
I pick us. I pick us in that game. I think we're winning that.
Yeah, I do the same. I mean, I think it's.
I can go with that.
I don't know. This will be interesting for us to review these over the weeks as we advance because so much of it depends on
that's true.
The other team and how we
do we each get do we get 2 mulligans?
Yeah, I would like 2 at least, please.
If we beat Penn State, it's we are going undefeated.
Yeah, baby, all in.
Yeah,
all in.
I'm
taking West Virginia on that one.
Yeah. Chad,
me too. Yep.
Okay.
Dylan, yep.
Yeah, West Virginia.
53.8%. That's a little close on there.
Yeah.
And then wrapping the season in the final week against Texas Tech at Texas Tech.
Yes.
Are you looking? Oh, wow.
That's why I said, do we play in 15 games? That's what it felt like, just reading through them. Dude, good God.
That's a tough schedule.
The Big 12, say what you want, right? They might not have, the super top-heavy like SEC, but any team will beat you any weekend. Top to bottom, I really arguably don't think there's a better conference.
Right. Yeah, this game right here, is a prime example.
Yeah.
We have a 40% chance. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much 39.8. They're taking Tech at the give right now.
Wow, but we've never freaking played good against them.
It's just a hard place to play too. They're throwing those damn tortillas on the field.
We played good for half against them.
And I'll never forget. For me, it's stuck in the craw is that our first year in the Big 12, where obviously all the warning signs were there that it was not sustainable. But that was when we just got buzzsawed on the road.
Wheels came off.
Just beat the shit out of us. Yeah,
we had a pretty big lead against them at their place a couple of years ago and lost it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't like that game. I don't like it.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that it's on the road too to end out the season.
So I'm gonna say we're losing that one. I'm gonna go with we lose that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I will too.
I'll pick us in that one. I'm gonna say we end up 9-3. That would be 9-3.
Nine. I've got 9-3 with a different way, but I end up at 9-3. What do you got us at, Chad? Record wise,
8-4, I guess.
Okay, and let's do it quick because I think it follows a line, but I wasn't tracking as we were going through there. But I think they've got us at let's see. If you look at the cumulative of what the picks were there, right? They've got us. That's a loss. 1 win. 2 wins. Three wins.
5-7.
Yeah, 4 wins.
I bet they got us 7-5, right?
6 wins. Yeah, 6 wins.
Wow, that's low. I would definitely bet the over on that.
Yeah, I think that is the line. What is it? 5.5 on the total wins for?
Wow.
It's
game this weekend.
Yeah, it could. If we beat Penn State, that's going to change for sure.
That's what we should do. We should just bet the over under on the wins.
Put it all there.
Yeah. Then maybe. Well, I don't know. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. 6.5.
6.5. Okay, that's a little different. But I would still, if I was going to pick, I would pick the over. But that's not as enticing.
I'd feel a little better taking. Yeah, I mean that's right. I mean, who knows? What did we finish last year? 9 with the bowl game.
Yeah, 9 with the bowl game, and we should have been 10 if we would have not lost to a Hail Mary.
I'd feel pretty confident going with the over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be keeping our eye on Jack State and Florida versus
Miami.
So who do you guys have winning the Big 12? Well, let's say so we got 9-3. Is that good enough for first or second place that we make it to the Big 12 championship?
I think if you guys are right and we lose to Texas Tech, I think that's going to take us out of the Big 12 championship. I think if I'm right, we play for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, better to lose early than late, right?
I think.
I mean, not in conference ranks, really, but I mean, it's kind of interesting, right? Because none of this matters anymore. Like we used to worry about polling and those top 2 positions, and
the thing that plays too is we're not playing everybody. Nobody's playing all the teams. So you've got, we could lose to Oklahoma State, beat Kansas State, which are 2 of the teams that they've some people picked to win the Big 12 outside of Utah. Utah could stumble against, whoever. I don't know. I have to look at their schedule, but
I don't know, man. I think it's always tough, but I think to jump conferences, obviously when you're going up, they're not. I mean, they played in the Pac-12,
they played in the Pac-12.
And I think their coach is awesome. I like him a lot, just from a production standpoint.
Every time they've been on TV, playing a big game, I've always pulled for them.
But I don't know, Cam Rising, does he return to form? You know what I mean? Is he the guy that he was two years ago, or is he?
Oh my God! Have you?
I think so much of it's on that, right?
Have you seen their schedule? They only play. They don't play Kansas State. They play Oklahoma State and Arizona. That's the only ranked teams they have to play.
Wow.
Yeah. Well.
And their non-conference is Southern Utah.
That's tough. That's a in-state rivalry.
Baylor, for some reason, and then they play Utah State.
Oh my!
They have the weakest. They have a weak schedule, man.
Yeah.
They play UCF, State, Colorado.
With the playoff, that's smart. It doesn't matter. Playing a non-conference game right now, it does not matter. All you're doing is hurting yourself.
That's right. They got to change the entire schedule. We need to get to the SEC's level of scheduling where you put a cupcake in at fucking week 9.
That's gonna suck, though. I like our schedule this year. We have a fun schedule this year.
Yeah.
We do have a fun schedule.
It's just gonna get. Did you guys see the?
Oof. Man, Matt,
not like the projected, next couple years of who will play in the Big 12 from the newest edition. So I think we go to Boulder next year maybe, but there's going to be some cool games, right? We haven't really played. Oh, I don't want to remind myself of the Bill Stewart eyes closed Boulder fiasco. But man, that'd be a cool game to go to. Just get together, or go out to the motherland.
Yeah.
Go see a game of Utah. I'm game. Let's go.
Yeah, Utah's looking pretty good just because their schedule's favorable, but
I would say, Utah, Kansas State, Okie State would have to be the favorites, but don't sleep on Kansas. So if you're holding a gun to my head, I got to pick one. With that schedule, I'm picking Utah. Utah's going to play for the Big 12 championship.
yeah. It's we're going to have to beat Oklahoma State. Well, we don't have to beat Oklahoma State because if Utah beats them, then there's a loss for them. But
yeah,
we're definitely going to have to win either Oklahoma State or Kansas State. I think for sure. Yeah. Kansas maybe, but I think there's four teams that are going to be in the hunt for this.
It's one thing when like last year we were picked last, but like we're 7th. But if you look at the 6 above us, right? That's good company. Like that's Utah, K-State, Okie State, Kansas, Arizona, Iowa State. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like
they're above us.
Yeah, they in the preseason Big 12 poll they're 6th.
Wow. I don't know. Maybe we're just really optimistic, but I feel like.
Be.
All right.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's all bullshit. Really, that's why I feel like they shouldn't do. They should get rid, like much like they did with the CFP rankings. Don't have rankings for like 4 or 5 weeks. See what happens.
Here's what I think: if you lose, like Florida State did last weekend, to an unranked team, and you're preseason ranked, you should drop out of the top 25 and have to fight your way back in.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
but I tell you what, if we're as good as our team is on NCAA football. We might go on to watch out Ohio State. I'm serious. We are nasty in that game.
Well,
Jaden Bray is
and my wait, do we have a Jaden Bray and a Traylon Ray?
Yes, we do, and they're both wide receivers.
And a Day.
Yeah, and a Day. We got to just come up with a little slogan for that with the A's at the end. Dude playing like NCAA the first couple times was like, I think they messed his name up. It's not like Jaden Bray. And then I was like, oh, so he's the Okie State transfer.
So everybody's being pretty quiet about CJ too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to start up like a discussion this late into the podcast, but
sleeping on him a little.
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody's kind of like focused in on Jaheim.
How does he balance it? You know what I mean? I'd love to see.
Well,
the backfield of old, right? Like in there together.
Full house.
He's fast. He's not fast like Noel was. Whenever we had Slayton and Noel in the backfield, but it could be something that beneficial towards us to where we could use them like that. We got a runner and we got a shifty slasher.
Well, they both can catch, right? Which is awesome.
Also, have Garrett.
Who can scramble, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying not to be too like hyperbole about, right? But it's like, really, if you think about it, and granted, Dana had some good offenses, but a lot of times I feel like he was just patching pieces together to make it work. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he had talent at every position. Like this reminds me a lot, and granted the wide receivers are unproven, but of like the Pat, Steve, Owen, Raynaud like lineup where you've got talent at all those positions that can run. Oh my God, we should have fired Neal and brought in Rich. Like, come on.
Yeah. So
he'd be running crazy.
Like whenever you brought up Dana having good offenses, Tavon Austin, looking back on it, like that guy was like, I don't think that anyone in the nation could argue that he was not the most explosive college football player ever.
Yeah. for sure that season.
You have somebody like that. I don't give a shit who's on the
That
sideline.
Oklahoma game was crazy, and he retired, and everybody was putting out his highlight video and stuff. And there was one person that said it was on Twitter or something, like tagged him. Was like, rumor is that you never actually got tackled inbounds your senior year, and he responded, he was like, a handful of times.
Yeah,
a handful.
But that might not be an exaggeration,
right?
I mean, I don't remember. Like he had the tendency to break outside, and like. I don't know how many times he actually did get tackled inbounds.
I can't. Was it 5? How many?
345.
Was that
all-purpose yards?
Yeah, he missed breaking the record by like 10 yards or something. It was crazy.
You know what I didn't appreciate, which is really interesting now, is like, and I saw this clip I think a couple years ago when he was like on the Cowboys, but I think it was on Hard Knocks, where a guy that was on Hard Knocks.
572 total yards.
Wow.
That was on the opposing team was like, who was, like a rookie trying to make the team, was like, is that Tavon Austin? And people are like, yeah. And he's like, go say hi to him. And he was like, oh, embarrassed, whatever. He goes over and he's like, greatest, like, I wanted to be you, like, greatest highlight. So I think like a lot of these younger players, like, he's just a legend, like, which is crazy to think. He was for us, but you always think of it more like regionally, like, well, yeah, we're Mountaineer fans, not like everybody's seen that mixtape. Like, it's arguably the greatest mixtape highlight reel ever.
Yeah, if I'm having a bad day, I watch that. Yeah.
That brings up an interesting question that I was thinking about the other day with his retirement. Like, our Sugar Bowl victory in 2006, the Fiesta Bowl win after Rich left us, and the Orange Bowl win. Which one of those would you rank as like the most important for our program?
I think the Sugar Bowl's got to be the one.
It's hard to beat that one, just because of the whole SEC, and the lead up to like, we're not going to hang, we're not going to compete, we don't have a chance, and then to come out and just jump all over them early. But I don't know. I mean, I think you could make a case that every one of them I think the one that sucks the most, right, is like looking at the Orange Bowl, because I think for all of us, we thought that was the beginning of what was just going to be utter domination.
But what I think is so important about that one, and I agree with you on the Sugar Bowl, but I think that the Orange Bowl is more important than we realized, because it cemented us as more than just a Rich Rod flash in the pan. The Sugar Bowl and Fiesta Bowl were Rich Rod teams, and we were able to go back and do it against a very good Clemson team that and beat them bad. Set the all-time scoring record in the bowl at the time. Also, the quarterback on the other team was the guy who left West Virginia. He committed to West Virginia and then left. And his dad was saying that he wanted to call the plays or whatever. So that was like a big storyline as well. So I don't know. I think that one that gets kind of swept under the rug because it wasn't against an Oklahoma or a Georgia, but to me, that is what cemented us as a powerhouse of that era, of the BCS era. We were more than just a Rich Rod flash in the pan. We were one of the most dominant teams of the BCS era.
Yeah, we never lost one.
True.
Yeah.
Only 3-0.
Yeah.
There's something about the BCS I miss. I don't know. Maybe it's just because that was our
our glory days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's like now, and I get it, but when they initially flipped to the 2-team championship without it kind of being point system, and it was like the playoff, it's like, I don't know, it just made all the other bowls feel watered down, right? Where like it used to be a big deal if you were in the BCS bowls, even if you weren't in that championship, to be like, yeah, we're playing a BCS bowl.
Yeah.
Now they try to do it with like the New Year's Six or whatever, but I just don't feel like it ever had the same.
Nah, it doesn't. They've taken a lot of that out of it, and it sucks because bowl season. I mean, hell, even back to you had the Cotton Bowl, the Citrus Bowl. Those were nice ones to watch outside of the the BCS bowls, but still, even like watching like the Gator Bowl, those were not terrible games. But,
and what's crazy now is that first round of the college playoff, a team gets a home game. So if that's us. That's where these teams are going for their bowl game. Is to Morgantown, West Virginia.
Isn't that the way it is?
Yes.
I didn't even realize.
Yes, the first round.
The first round, like the next round, the bye.
I don't think it's the
teams
bye. I
all
think
host
it's the
a home?
first round.
The
One of
first
those teams gets a home.
Okay,
You know,
so the 12,
Yes.
it's the higher seed is hosting that at home.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
first so the first
That
four
could be
games,
fun.
first 4 games will be played at the higher seeded home field. It's like Division II football, college playoffs.
Yeah,
yeah.
gotcha.
And Division 3.
So
yeah.
let me ask you guys, because I was curious. I mentioned Dana earlier. I had like a quote, more recently because they were asking about his departure, and I won't get into any of that. But he said, and I thought this part was funny because I was always a Dana fan, as you guys know. He was very successful, according to himself, at WVU. Would you deem his tenure? I would say it was successful. Obviously his record as a whole, and also, some pretty good seasons, but very successful.
I would not say very successful.
That feels like a very big stretch.
First of all, the Orange Bowl victory, that wasn't even his team. He was supposed to be the coach in waiting that year.
Yeah.
And granted, do we win that Orange Bowl if it's not for him? Probably not. Bill Stewart was trending down. So, I give him some credit there. He had a 1-10-win season in the Big 12. Outside of that,
True.
Outside of that, it was
2 10 wins total, but that's really, like you said, the first year before.
So once again, the variable in this is Tavon Austin.
Yeah. Well, and so he went to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 bowl games, and he was 2-5.
ooh,
Oh, pretty successful, if you ask me.
Very successful. Very successful. I was like, all right, he's drunk.
Whenever he left, I was neutral on it. Like him leaving for Houston, it was a punch in the gut. But like, if we would have signed him back, I'd have been like, okay. And if he left, I was like, okay,
Yep. That one just struck me.
What'd you say, Chad?
Would you have felt better if they would have fired him, as opposed to him leaving for Houston?
I guess it would have felt better. Yeah.
I feel like that was very possible, right? It's just like he beat it to the punch. He just left the bowl game and never came back. It's like, hey, by the way, I'm leaving.
This stuff is still in his house in Morgan.
That's what I mean. He did you can't break up with me. I already broke up with you.
You can't fire me. I quit.
Well, I think I got to wrap this up, but I certainly hope we get back here next week and that Ryan is laughing at me and you, Chad, because he was the only one that picked us.
Let's go, baby. Let's get it started right. Hey, and then just to be clear though, if we win that game, my mulligan is I'm going undefeated, national champions, right out of the gate after that. So,
okay.
No more 3 losses for us.
I tell you what I'll do, Ryan. Chad has to agree to this too, I guess. If we win that game because you picked them, you can pick the game that we're betting on next week.
Oh, I like that.
I'll just go with whatever you decide.
Well, obviously be West Virginia against the Great Danes.
We're going to win $80.
We got
60 points. Yeah, 60 points. Phil, let's go.
$60 on it to win $6.
Really bad odds.
The money line on us.
I'm taking the Great Danes, by the way. All right, fellas, it's been real.
Yeah. All right, I will. I'll talk to you guys next week, and let's go Mountaineers.
Let's go.